The headlines. Appeals for more federal aid in Hawaii after the death toll from wildfires there edges towards 100. Many people have lost everything.
This hat was the only thing that made it of mine. I just recently started riding bulls, so it was a big sign to me that I should just keep doing what I want to do and keep pushing through no matter what.
Pressure builds on Rishi Sunak over small boats crossing the channel. After 6 deaths, Labour says people smugglers are running rings around government policy. And New Zealand cracks down on disposable vapes to fight skyrocketing use among teenagers.
Leaders of the military coup in Niger announced plans to prosecute the country's deposed president. Plus, FBI agents meet Ecuadorian officials as they begin aiding the investigation into a presidential candidate's assassination.
The Iranian parliament has voted to review a controversial hijab law behind closed doors, meaning it is not likely there will be a public debate on the issue. The so-called hijab and chastity bill would impose new punishments on women who fail to wear headscarves. Now, meanwhile, an Iranian journalist who was sentenced to 2 years in prison for interviewing the father of Mahsa Amini has been freed. On her release from Tehran's Evin prison, Nazirullah Masoufian posted a picture of herself on social media without a headscarf, part of the Islamic dress code Ms. Amini had allegedly violated before her death in custody last September. Ms. Maroufian was arrested in November after she published an interview with Ajman Amini. She was sentenced in January on charges of propaganda against the system and spreading false news. Now, let's take a look at some other stories in the headlines. Another typhoon is heading towards Japan and is expected to make landfall on Tuesday on the main island of Honshu. Japan's meteorological agency says Typhoon Lan is slow-moving and will bring heavy rain and violent gusts of wind from around 6 a.m. local time on Tuesday. China says the number of people killed in a mudslide in northern province of Shanxi has risen to 21. Emergency services say 6 people are still missing. Friday's mudslide near Xi'an was triggered by torrential rain. China has been grappling with record-breaking rainfall since last month when Typhoon Doksuri struck. China has threatened to take forceful measures in response to a visit to New York by Taiwan's Vice President William Lai. He made a stopover on his way to Paraguay, one of the few countries that maintain diplomatic relations with Taiwan. Just before we go, we have time to bring you some amazing images of the Perseid meteor shower, which has been visible across much of Europe. Now, this is a time-lapse from Croatia. The phenomenon is one of the highlights of the year for stargazers and happens when debris from the comet enters the Earth's atmosphere and burns up. That's all we have for you now.